This is the story of how I built a fake prosthetic arm to help my one-handed friend fulfill a decade-long dream of sneaking candy and soda into a movie theater. You're gonna want to see this.
The Long Arm of the Outlaw, a story about friendship.
The whole thing started like 12 years ago, but my part started 7 years ago, August 19th, 2017, when I ran across this Facebook post. The post is from my friend Ryan, but he posted it under his professional page, which is called Living One-Handed, because, well, Ryan only has one hand. He was born that way, but if you ask Ryan, he might tell you that he lost his hand to a shark, or a chainsaw, or a shark with a chainsaw, or whatever other bull story he comes up with that day. Anyways, back to Facebook. The post said, "This is an arm I designed 5 years ago." And then there's this picture Ryan drew of a prosthetic hand with secret compartments inside for sneaking candy and soda into a movie theater. I commented on the post, I can build this for you. And so the heist was on. Now, as everyone knows, prosthetic crime is a dish best served cold, which is why I waited 7 years before I actually made the arm. Okay, that's not true. Really, the reason why I waited is I just got busy, I guess, or at least that's what I kept telling myself. For 7 years, I kept thinking, well, things are kind of busy right now, but in a little bit, things will slow down, and then I'll have time to do that fun thing for Ryan. And I think I genuinely believed that until I ran across this tweet. The tweet is from Lecrae, and it says, "Adulthood is saying, but after this week, things will slow down a bit, over and over, until you die." And I realized that there's never gonna be a perfect time to make a fake prosthetic hand for your friend to use for smuggling-based movie crimes, especially when that friend lives in a different state and you don't get to see him that often. Either you make time to do silly stuff with your friends, or you don't. So after 7 years, we made a plan. Ryan would fly down to visit me. While he was here, we would make a mold of his arm. Then Ryan could go back to Wisconsin. I would stay in Missouri, use the mold to create the prosthetic hand. When the hand was finished, I would fly back to Wisconsin, meet up with Ryan, fill the arm with candy and soda, and sneak into a movie theater, thus completing the heist.
Let's do one more layer. So if you could be a little louder, it would be great. Everything's going perfectly according to plan.
how we wanted it. Look at that. It almost looks like him. That's pretty good. With the mold complete, Ryan went back home and I went to the only place in town that could help me pull this off. Elite Arms Co. Turns out that place is a gun store, so instead I went on Facebook Marketplace and I bought myself a mannequin.
Let me borrow this, buddy.
Wait. I know what you're thinking. Kyle, that's not the right arm. I mean, it is the right arm, but it's not the correct arm because Ryan is missing his left arm. However, there's only one left arm on that mannequin and I don't want to screw it up. So I'm gonna cut into this right arm and kind of get a vibe. So come along. Hey, look, did it again. You know how they say don't cut towards you? What if I did that? Okay. Got back from the one shot of me holding it, and then it's just like, you know, or something. First look inside the arm, everyone. Ooh, imagine how much candy you can fit in there. This is Ryan's arm. Look at this. This is a match made in heaven. It's perfect. Okay, so I have discovered a slight problem. This arm came off of a mannequin that is 6 feet tall. Ryan is less than 6 feet tall. And so I'm wondering if it's gonna be noticeable that this arm is longer than you would expect it to be. Is that a problem? Let's take it to the streets. Jay, I have a question for you.
What?
If you saw someone out in public and you could tell that one of their arms was not real, like it was a fake arm, and if you noticed that the fake arm was longer than their real arm, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How much longer would it have to be before you would say something to them about it?
15 inches.
So if it was 15 inches longer than their regular arm, you would say something?
Yeah.
But if it was like 14 and a half, you wouldn't say anything?
No.
Okay. Ryan's elbow's about here, which means that I should probably have this thing come up to like somewhere in here, like that, you know? Go like this. This is great cinematography, I can tell. Also, there's a 3D printer going in the background. All right, let's get chopping. Well, the mommy arm and daddy arm. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. Except you can see this arm is way higher up. I think this arm is gonna be too long. Once the shape of the arm was done, it was time to figure out how to hide the candy and soda. Ryan's plan of just having a hatch in the side seemed way too obvious to me, so I wanted to go a different route. And plus, I had an idea for how to incorporate some advanced technology. Okay, I just found this keychain flashlight. Ooh. This was in a gift bag that I got at Open Sauce. Look at this. If we chop the tip of the pointer finger off, wedge this guy in there, then he'll be able to find his way to his seat. This is a great idea. I just realized that I shot the whole video of me cutting this fingertip off and didn't record it, so just pretend it's like, and then this part fell off. Sorry. This is so stupid. Will I get away with this in a movie theater? Debatable. Bad update, I ripped the tip of the flashlight off. When the front came off, the pack of batteries dropped to the floor and exploded. And I have found 3 of them, but I think there's at least 4. This is a problem. Looking under everything, you know what'd be really helpful, ironically, is a little flashlight. Okay, update, I never found the battery, so I went to Menards. Got a bunch more batteries. Look at that, baby. This just feels like the sort of thing I should be videoing. So this finger hole is just slightly too small for the flashlight. So that's where we bring in old propane torch. Just sort of like gently caressing it. The key is just to keep it moving. Guys, it worked. This goes in so much easier now. This is still going. This thing now slides just right in and out. Then, when you're in the movie theater, you need to see something, just pull this out. And then boom, slides right back in. Perfect. Now it's time to sever the hand from the arm in order to give us access to the interior of this compartment, which brings us to our old friend here, the chop saw. First step here is to clear your workspace. The hand fits perfectly, so the workplace is considered clear. Like a glove. Get it? I know what you're wondering. Kyle, how are you gonna hide the seam where the hand flips open for access? Well, just watch. Just watch, get it? Just calculator watch, am I right? You might have noticed that this flashlight here doesn't particularly match the color scheme of the rest of the hand. Let's paint it flesh-toned. Flesh-toned flashlight. We can call it the flashy flesh. I'll come up with a name for it. Gonna be honest with you guys, it's not going great. I didn't let the paint dry long enough, and I tried to fit it into the already very tight little finger area, and the lid came off again and the batteries fell out. I just kind of think I might have to abandon the flashlight idea because I just feel like it's guaranteed to explode batteries all over the movie theater. Now I have to figure out what to put where I chopped off the finger. So that's good. I figured it out. Ryan said that he wanted Sprite Zero for the beverage portion of the arm. So I bought a 20-ounce bottle of Sprite Zero. Way too big. It's like bigger than the whole forearm. So then I bought a can of Sprite Zero. Still too big. Then I bought a miniature can. The miniature can of Sprite Zero can fit in the forearm, but the only way to get it in there is from the top. Ryan would have to take off the arm, slide it in, put the arm on, get into the movie theater, take the arm off, pull the can out. Just way too conspicuous. So this arm will open like this. This will be shoved into here. This will go right through here. Look at that. I can make it look better. Watch this. I'm gonna chop the thumb, off of this guy and use it to cover this. 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare thumb war. Let's put it all together. Look at that, it looks like a human hand. All right, pretty much done. Got a fake wedding ring glued on here. This watch, which is also a calculator, hides the seam. Full of candy, got a magnet thing that keeps it closed. And there's a hydration bladder in here that will hold the Sprite Zero. As with all of my projects, I finished this thing right as I was about to run out of time, the night before I had to leave for Wisconsin, which meant that my only hurdle now was getting the arm through TSA. There's a 50-50 chance. Either they'll be really weird and have a bunch of questions about it, or they won't even look at it at all. I am really proud of how this arm turned out. It ended up being the simplest version. I had all these ideas for I wanted to add a battery bank so you could charge your phone and a flashlight, a hidden key and all this other stuff. And part of me is maybe there's a Mark II version. This is Iron Man in the cave, and then that's back at Stark headquarters or whatever. But I also just love the purity of this, that this is the idea that Ryan had, and I just made it happen for him. I was thinking about this the other day. I'm 38. Ryan is 40-something, and we were both so giddy about this dumb idea. Giddy about how dumb it was, and also just that we get to do this together. And I hope I never lose that. I hope that when I'm 75 years old, I'm doing stupid stuff with my friends in movie theaters. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. See you on the other side. At the airport, it's looking not great. Thunder, lightning, the whole 9 yards. Clearly, the gods are angry that they took Ryan's hand, and I'm about to give it back. So let me tell you this. You can try to keep this plane out of the sky, But I'm getting to Ryan, and I'm giving him this hand.
Is there any reason you'd alarm a metal detector?
I hope not. Straight through security, no problems with the arm. I didn't even look at it. I texted Ryan to let him know that I made it through security, and he was like, I'm so glad that you haven't sent me any pictures of this. Like, I haven't showed him anything about the arm yet, and he was like, I can't wait to see it. I'm stoked. I'm at the gate now. The plane just pulled up. I do have a question. It has nothing to do with car rental.
Yeah.
If you saw a person who had a prosthetic arm and you noticed that the prosthetic arm was longer than their normal arm, how much longer would it have to be before you would make a comment about it?
A wild question. I probably wouldn't say anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's a prosthetic arm. I don't really want to comment about their arm, so.
That's the answer I was hoping for.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Can I ask you a question? If you saw someone who was wearing a prosthetic arm and you noticed that it was longer than their regular arm, how much longer would it have to be before you would make a comment about it?
I probably won't comment on that at all.
Okay. That's the answer I'm looking for. What does this sign mean? Stop. No stopping. Don't. What? Stop. No. No stopping. No stop. No. Go. Just that. Can I ask you a question? If you saw someone who had a prosthetic arm and you noticed that it was longer than their normal arm, how much longer would it have to be before you would say something?
That's a tough situation.
It is, yeah.
I feel like I'm the type of person that probably wouldn't say anything at all. Maybe they want it that way.
Yeah. That's a great answer. I love it. Thank you. Have a great day. My informal survey had revealed that people were probably not going to say anything about this arm unless it was my daughter, and she would only say something if the arm was
15 inches.
longer than Ryan's other arm, which seemed unlikely. This survey gave me a lot of confidence, and armed with that confidence, I met Ryan at the hotel. We are here in my hotel room. I'm about to show him the prosthetic arm. He has seen nothing of this so far. Here it is. This is actually where you drink the Sprite. Got your calculator watch here.
First of all, it looks way more like an arm than I expected it to.
What did you expect?
I had no idea what to expect. And also, this is incredible. I've never been able to wear a calculator watch because it made no sense to wear it on this arm.
Yeah,
I would
because
just
you
like
can't push
mash
it. And then this it's magnet, and then that's where all the candy will be. Yeah, I guess moment of truth here. Let's see how it does. Honestly, dude, that just looks like a regular. It's gonna work so great. We're realizing Ryan won't be able to drink out of the finger, but we will be able to get the candy out.
The candy out for sure.
And then I think in a dark movie theater, you can take the arm off and flip it around.
I mean, nothing weird about that at all. Slip that Twix out. Oh yeah, what's up? Do some math.
Based on all the feedback I've gotten from asking people, I don't think anyone's going to say anything. You could pull that thing off and start beating people with it. I don't think anyone would say anything. It's also funny that we're on a golf course because it definitely reminds me of the guy in Billy Madison.
Chubbs.
I know the movie was Happy Gilmore. I misspoke, and that's on me. In my defense, I was under a lot of stress as I was about to commit a crime. And before you come at me and say, Kyle, sneaking candy into a movie theater is not actually a crime, then explain to me this article in The Guardian where it says, a woman brought her own snacks to Despicable Me 4, then the police arrived. What are your thoughts on movies?
My number one is just Despicable Me 4.
Am I going to be lost if I haven't seen Despicable Me's 2 and 3?
I don't know. I haven't seen them either.
Ryan just said, I'm wearing this through the lobby just so we're clear. It's a little stiff, but
For the most part.
for the most part, it's convincing. Also, your other arm is definitely buffer than this arm. I need to get a bigger arm next time to store more candy and soda. Ryan is currently topless in the parking lot of the Grand Geneva.
Just going to the movies. Just going to the movies with my friend.
Okay, so we are directly in front of the theater. The least inconspicuous, also known as the most conspicuous place to do this. There we go. we're in. This is like the worst Ocean's 11, or a little bit more. Why not, you know? Oh God. Okay. Oh, all right.
There it is.
All right. Spilled it on my pants. The good thing about spilling Sprite Zero is that there's no sugar in it, so it's not going to get sticky. Also, these Twix, I don't know why, they say left and right on them.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe we should only put the left ones in here. This is a great shot with the steering wheel blocking half of what's happening here. This movie theater is not going to know what hit him. Oh, there we go. And click. And then the watch slides up. What's that? A regular hand? Yeah, it is. Look at that. See you soon. 2 for Despicable Me 4. Not today. This lady just said, who's missing a lid? And Ryan thought she said, who's missing a limb? Row E, seats 6 and 7. Guess the number's on the left. Yeah. Okay. We did it.
They didn't suspect the thing.
The dumbest heist of all time.
Success never tasted so good.
I'm bringing in Jack O'Malley. He's probably the best tracker in the world.
Yep.
You guys are legends.
Also known as
Mission
Myra, was
successful.
abducted.
I don't know where that came from.
Is my free stuff?
12 years after Ryan had the idea for this arm, 7 years after I told him I would make it for him, and roughly 20 minutes after the movie started, Ryan and I walked out.
It was
So bad. Oh my gosh, that movie was awful. Maybe it wasn't about sneaking into the movie. Maybe it was about the friends we made along the way. So we left the theater early because the movie was unwatchable.
We had about 16 different storylines that we're trying
None of which were compelling in any way. But there were 2 old ladies in the front who were loving this movie. They were having the time of their life. If you are an old woman, Despicable Me 4, 3 thumbs up. We left the theater and decided to go get some dinner. And while we ate, we caught up like 2 friends who don't get to see each other enough. We talked about our lives and our friends and our families, our jobs. We talked about our past and our hopes for the future. We talked about how silly and dumb and ridiculous this whole project had been. But we also talked about how we were both so glad that we had done it because it gave us a chance to hang out again. Unfortunately, we recorded absolutely none of that conversation. But when we got back to the car, long after the sun had gone down, we turned on the camera one last time to capture our final thoughts. Well, Ryan, we did it after 10 years. Yeah, get your arm on, dude. Sorry, I can't bend this. I think we're in agreement. We need to do a round 2. What improvements would you like to see on the arm for next time?
I mean,
a better movie.
I don't know that. Yeah, a better movie. That's for sure. I would say the cavity could be a bit larger so that we can fit some more stuff in here. The magnet did come apart a little bit too easy once it was
loaded.
When it was loaded. But we did fit quite a bit in there. We still have some candy stuffed in there.
Send those home with you for the road. Yeah. The finger. What if it's like the sprayer hose on your sink where it just pulls out? It's just really long.
Yeah, we were discussing like making some sort of a hinge here.
I like that you hinged it not where the elbow is.
Right, that's right.
Ryan's taking a hydration break.
That was really weird. It does work though. I just wanted to make sure it was still working. It works.
It still works.
But overall, I would say very successful first trial run. Movie again, do not recommend. Despicable Me 4. They could have just stopped at Despicable.
Yeah, it was. It was. I think that's a good place to end.
That's right.
All right. Love you, buddy.
All right.